Morning, welcome back to the All Season Anglers YouTube channel. This is part 2 of my spring campaign. As you might have seen last week's introduction and overview of where I'm going to be fishing, I'll put a link to that video up here. So today, pretty much the same approach as last week to start with. I'm in the same swim. I had a walk around the lakes first thing when I got here. Couldn't see a sign of anything. I found a swim that I quite like. It's got some nice features, reed beds, overhanging trees and that on one of the other lakes, one of the other 4 lakes. So what I'm going to do is probably give it about 3 hours here, and then if I've seen no signs of anything, I will then move on to the second swim. Probably have a quick walk round first just to see if anything's showing, but as I've said in last week's video, these lakes are notorious for not showing fish at all, especially as we've still got very cold wind today. You know, we've had a sprinkling of rain. It's forecast for no rain today, but it is still cold. It has been for the last 2 or 3 days. It's been very, very cold winds. So still, you know, water temperatures are a lot, are a lot lower than I would have expected at this time of year. And you know, just looking for some consistent warmer weather, just to bring the water temperature up, 2 or 3 degrees, to get the metabolism of the carp going and get them rooting around and more responsive to bait. So we'll see how we get on. I'll update you as and when I reposition the rods. Probably going to leave them out for an hour to start with, just watching the water and seeing if I can see any fizzing or that, but it's all very still at the moment. Quite excited to try out my new rod setup today. I bought some new carbon buzz bars and sticks from New Direction. I'll just give you a quick show. Yeah, a really nice, neat, light setup, which is perfect for me and my roving about. Come in a really nice bag as well. So I'll keep you updated on them, and I'll give a full review of them as well in a couple of weeks after I've been using them. I've got those paired up with the New Direction S9 alarms and receivers. I've also got the New Direction magnetic butt clips and the New Direction quick change adapters for the alarm, so you can just pop them on and off, and also the New Direction Teflon bobbins. A few weeks I'll do a proper review of them. I'll also go through my rigs and the rest of my setup as well, and how I managed to keep my kit quite low and not overburden myself. I try to keep as mobile as possible and as light as possible, so no barrows needed. I did do a video, if you go onto my channel as well, I'll put a link above, of how I've ditched a lot of kit and gone for more of the roving style. But if you're out on the bank, tight lines, I know tonight is the night that every carp angler in the country's been waiting for, and that means that they can go night fishing. So I would think this afternoon these lakes will start to get very busy as the carp boys move in and get bivvied up, ready for their 2 or 3 day sessions. I think our club has got a 72-hour on, 48-hour off policy to start with. So I will catch up with you later, hopefully with a fish. So I'm just going to tie up a couple of PVA bags ready to move to the next swim. So I just thought I'd just show you how I go about it. Standard PVA bag rig, short link, bright pop-up, and a Aptus tackle PVA bag stem. So basically, just going to get the bag out. So I just using a bag loader, just a cheap one that I got off of eBay, or no, Amazon actually. You know, most of the manufacturers do them. I know Fox do them, but obviously they're a lot more expensive. So just place this inside the. Just going to place this inside the bag. Take the collar off, which lets the tube expand. Basically, what I'm using in the bag is some crumbed boilie. This is the Evolved Baits amino nut boilies. I've crumbed these up really fine. There's some bigger chunks in there as well. I've also put some of the Evolved Baits vanilla spice liquid in there, which is soaked into this crumb, just extra attractant. I'm also using some 2 and 4 mil amino pellets from Evolved Baits as well, and also as a little bit of extra attractant, I'm using the munches from Evolved Baits as well. What I like to use is a little, just a little scoop. Just makes it easier to get it into the tube. So just a layer of the crumb on the bottom. Drop that into there, as so. I hold the lead against the side of the tube. It's all a bit fiddly when you're trying to do it on your lap. Much easier at home on a table where you've got everything laid out. So, a few scoops of the pellet to cover the hook bait. See, I then drop the lead down. Nice thing with the munches is that they're full of aminos, but they're also very bright as well, so a nice bit of attractant. So, making sure the stem's in the middle. Matter of twist and then lick. There you go. A nice little tied up bag there. In the corners, I fold them over just to make it a little bit more aerodynamic. And there you have it. One nice little tied up PVA bag ready to go. So we've now moved round to the second swim, which is on actually the another one of the lakes. As I've said in the last video, there's 4 lakes right next to each other in like a square, and this is another one of the deep ones. It's not an overly fished one, and I have put my right hand rod out to the reeds on the right hand side there. I know that in the spring and summer they do get into those reeds, and obviously there's a gap as well behind those reeds, so it's quite popular. I then cast my left hand rod into the margin here on the left, but as soon as I had cast it, I saw a massive amount of fizzing directly out in front of me, so I quickly reeled that rod in, switched it over to another PVA bag and landed it on top of where I saw all the fizzing. I've had a couple of little beeps since then, so that could be activity in the area, so that's sort of given me a little bit of confidence. It's the first signs I've seen of anything feeding. You know, it may be tench, but to be honest, I'll be happy with putting anything on the bank at the moment. So I will catch up with you shortly. I'm just going to settle in and have a cup of tea, and hopefully this left hand rod that I dropped on top of the fizzing will produce something, so fingers crossed. Well, we come to the end of another session and another blank. To be honest, I'm not that surprised. The temperature is still very cold. It's been freezing all morning, and I just think we just need to get this water temperature up a few degrees just to get the fish grubbing around looking for food, starting to bring their body temperatures up, so that they then start thinking of spawning later on in a couple of months, which should then hopefully trigger a bit of feeding. So, you know, bear with me. This isn't an easy venue by any stretch of the imagination either, so it is a matter of trying, consistently coming down, keeping an eye out if you do see any fish dropping on them, but like I've said a few times, is that they really are reluctant to show themselves on these venues. So again, I'll be down next week. It'll be interesting to see what it's like, because obviously tonight is when the lockdown ban for night fishing finishes, so all the session carp anglers will be coming on today, bivvying up for tonight, and fishing through the week. So we're going to see a lot more disturbance and a lot more bait going in, which personally I think is going to have a negative effect. I'll sort of keep my ear to the ground this week and see if any fish have been coming out or how many people have been fishing these lakes. They're not the most popular ones on the club ticket that we have, so hopefully they don't get absolutely hammered. If they do, there is a couple of decent commercial fisheries around that, you know, I may drop into just for next week while all the excitement sort of dies down of that first week of people being able to night fish. But I'll keep you up to date. You know, I've got about another 30 minutes before I need to pack up, so you know, if you are new to the channel or you like what you're watching, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and smash the notification bell, and then you'll be alerted when I upload the next videos. So this, as I've said, is a spring campaign, so I will be fishing for carp through now till June when the river's open. So hopefully we can build up a bit of a picture of what's going on these lakes and manage to snag a few before I return to the rivers. And I'm glad that you are following me on this journey. I know it's not always that great to be posting blanks up, but this is real fishing. and you know, there's a lot of us out there, we're all going through exactly the same thing. So it's nice to know that, you know, there are other people who are sort of doing their best and still blanking as well. So have a great week, stay safe, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode.